Hi, Ella. I think it's recording now. Hi, Ella. Thank you for joining me to discuss the VR project. I'm particularly interested in how you went about designing curriculum for your subject area and the types of things you had to consider when integrating this kind of new technology into the classroom.
Yeah, so I sort of looked at the national curriculum for technologies, and it was a little bit of a blend of digital and design technologies. And as far as mapping it out, we had a semester course available to work with. So I sort of mapped out a scope and sequence of the topics that we wanted to look at, how they would work together to come up with an end product that was in VR. And with those three topics, how that mapped up to Akara and the type of task design across the course of the semester, how that would line up with weekly plans for lessons that we had available as well.
And how did you think about the virtual reality component? I mean, and sort of integrating that in a meaningful way and in a scaffolded way for students.
So with the virtual reality component, it was a way that the students could create content, but also show their content knowledge a little bit as well through the learning that we did on our topics like data and sustainability. It was important also that they had some sort of experiential experience of the VR before they got in and started creating, just to give them a bit of an idea of how that works, how it feels to be immersed, some possibilities around it as well. And they did a little bit of an investigation into different typologies. So it gave them a bit of a head start, I suppose, as well around their thinking of what their project could look like. And then from there, different groups that worked together had different ideas about how they wanted to use it, the direction they wanted to go, how they would embed their content and design the markers and use gamification and things like that as well.
And you as a teacher, how did you support both the kind of content knowledge acquisition that they needed, the technology knowledge acquisition, but also the creativity?
Yes, so with the task design, I suppose, for each topic, there was a little bit of explicit teaching. There was a little bit where we had to cover off on the curriculum, as you do, and then the task design flexible enough so that there's some student agency and they had to take some ownership for their learning and be a little bit self-directed and have enough space that they could come up with their own project ideas as well. So it was a mix of lessons, research that they had to take individually, some group work. They conducted some interviews with different teachers and staff in the school. So it was quite multifaceted.
And how did the students react to having that agency?
I think that's the thing that from the feedback they wanted more of. So they said we shouldn't have to do it on any particular topic. We should be able to come up with a topic we're interested in. So that was the main feedback as far as if they could change something, which I guess you get a lot of the time when you conduct feedback with students. They want to look into their own areas of interest. So it would have been something that would have been good to do as well. And hopefully it gave them a bit of an idea of, well, if you do have a special interest or a project, that you can use virtual reality to do those things as well. So to explore the content, but also to create it.
Why do you think content creation is important?
With the technologies, there's a lot that's around processes and production skills in the curriculum. So it's pretty much bread and butter, and learning the content, having the mix of the theory, but also the content for us is actually creating a product and creating a user interface sometimes or some sort of system or solution. So it was all sort of integrated. They're looking at content as far as their knowledge and understanding of a particular topic, but then they're also creating content with VR and for it as well.
And is there any advice that you'd give teachers around particularly curriculum design when thinking about VR?
Yeah, so the planning is key. I mean, this might be a little bit of my approach, but it's better to have a well thought out program that you can adjust accordingly as you go, rather than trying to do it on the fly. With the planning and trying to visualize how it will look in the classroom, trying to map it to the curriculum for a specific outcome, or an outcome that has a little bit of flexibility, probably the better way to go, rather than letting the kids jump in and maybe being a bit overwhelmed with that. And obviously it's just probably better from the teaching and the learning perspectives.
Thank you so much, Ella.
No worries.